Can you hear me and see me now? Can you hear me and see me now? Am I present? Am I awake? Am I here? If you guys are able to see me and you're here, you can hear me. Go ahead, hit that one so that I know that I am present. Sharon Martinez, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, go to my other one. All right. Looks like we have some ones in the chat. Appreciate that. Awesomeness. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome. We're here for another Speak Pipe event because that's how we do it. Like to keep it live and funky as best we can. Let me move this over a little bit so I'm more centered. There we go. All right. Welcome to the show. We have some interesting phone calls and we're going to get right into it. So without further ado, just so everybody knows, if you go to speakpipe.com/my take on reality, you too can have your call featured on the show and we'll listen to it and, give feedback as needed or as required. So hopefully everybody partakes. I try to give as many opportunities as possible for folks to be able to call in and get their voices heard. So you can call into the call-in show. You can obviously talk in the chat, as well as we have the Speak Pipe show. And then, of course, we have the Saturday roundtable for the members, where we just bring all the members up. We chop it up about anything, whether it's sister wives or experiences, whatever the case may be. All right. So without further ado, let's go. We're going to go right to Ready to Retire. They left a message. So, thank you, Lizzie B, with the Speak Pipe message right there. So if you want to link and leave a message on Speak Pipe, thanks to Lizzie B, it's right there on the screen. All right. So let's get to it. Starting off tonight, we have Ready to Retire.
Hey, James, it's Ready to Retire. Cody gets mad when his children do better than him, whether it's get accepted to college, whether it's buying a house, deciding to have no or fewer children, or moving to a better place. He gets mad rather than celebrating his children's accomplishments that he hasn't already done. Like the wrestling thing, he celebrated that because he could relate to it. But discouraging his son from buying a house, discouraging his other son from going to school or not supporting the activities required for him to get a scholarship. That's part of his problem. He's jealous of his own children. Well, that's my take. Thanks, James.
And here's the thing. Appreciate you, Ready to Retire. Here's the thing that's kind of scary. For you to be in competition with your children is not only inappropriate, wholly inappropriate, it's also kind of jacked up. Like, what the shit? Like, you, only competition you really have in life is you versus you. You can't compare anybody else's success to your success or anybody else's failures to your failures. Let's be honest. As we learned either in school or at jobs, workplaces, even in some families, two people could do the exact same thing and get two totally different responses from the thing that they did. You could have one person break the rules and they're rewarded and everybody saw he is a free thinker. That guy, man, he breaks the mold. Oh, my goodness. Somebody else does the exact same thing. You're so disrespectful. I can't believe this. We're going to have to terminate you. Like, it is what it is. But so at the end of the day, it's you versus you. You have to navigate your life the way you need to navigate your life. But with that being said, to me, it's disturbing that as a parent, you should want more for your kids than anything that you have. You should want your kids to do better than you. You shouldn't want your kids to, like, if my kid buys a house, I have to buy a bigger house, or I have to buy two houses, or if my kid goes out and they get a good job, I have to get a better job. My kid goes, like, why are you comparing to your child? Especially they're just starting out. So the fact that I mean, it's actually kind of sad that if you feel like you need to compete with your child, and by the nature of uh genealogy and biology, you have been doing whatever it is you've been doing for X amount of years, right? They're just starting and they're accomplishing to a point where you feel threatened by their accomplishments. That's not bad on them. That's bad on you. That you're you're messing up. If you're looking at your kid, you feel like you're in competition with your kid. Why are you competing with your child? Is it that bad? Has it been going that bad for you? Did you looking at your child like they bought a house, so I'm going to buy a house too? Like you should have better association in that for the most part. If you feel the need to be pushed and challenged, you should hang out with a better group of people, not your kids. Your kids you want to do better than you. I want my kids to do better than me. I've said that before on the show. I've said that before in life. When push them down and shove, everything I've accomplished, I want my kids to do better than me. So if I've gone to, places for a week or even 2 weeks, I've stayed in a place or vacationed in a place. I want my kids to have a facility and resources. They can go there for a month if they want to, 2-3 months. You know what I mean? Like I want my kids to do it so much bigger than me. I want them to eclipse anything that I've ever done. And that's what I encourage them to do. And part of that is that, as Ready to Retire pointed out, that's also Cody sabotaging his kids. So you're not looking out for the best interests of your children. So, I have a thing that I want to do specifically about Cody and Special Forces once it's over. I want to talk specifically about his time on Special Forces because I do think that he's going to make it I think next week is the last episode anyway. This week is the last episode. He's definitely made it to the last week. I don't know if he's going to be selected, but I have thoughts. And I will be sharing those. But thank you very much. Ready to Retire. We had a super chat come in from the infamous, the incorrigible Betty Aldridge with a $5 super chat. Says, can't stay but trying to support. Thank you so much, Betty. Everything you do support. Actually, you didn't call in yesterday. I was a little surprised on Tuesday. But thank you so much, Betty. Glad you're here. Hopefully everything is going well for you. Thanks for the support. Let me give you a little something for Betty Aldridge. All right. And so the next call we have is from for one of the fan favorites. We have Linda calling in. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey, James, it's Linda. Just got a very weird clip. I don't even know if it's real. I put it on the Facebook page. I'm not sure if you check it out, but do try to check it on the regular. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been getting these like old clips and new clips. The newest clip I got is a sneak peek from this coming Sunday, where Mary is telling she was asked to sign a confidentiality agreement if Cody sold Coyote passed from under her. I listened to it twice and it didn't really make sense to me because it was kind of spliced. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tired because it's late when I saw it. But I don't know, like, it's like the more you know with these people, the more you know, the more lies. I also posted one where Janelle is saying, oh, Cody and Mary were my secret polygamous friends that nobody knew about. Bitch, she was your fucking sister-in-law. And the reason that Janelle got to know Cody more is that they moved into her house as newlyweds. I'm looking at Janelle like, yo, she's just as bad as Robin. I can't with these females. It's like they all get stigmatized and they want what everybody else has. But check out the videos. Bye.
All right. Linda, you were not too sleepy. You caught that right. Cody did ask Mary to fill out or sign a NDA. There's a video out with his perspective on the whole NDA thing. I got to do a video on that as well. But folks, let me tell you something. If Mary would have messed around and signed that damn NDA, she would have been so screwed. Dude would have ripped her ass off. He would have ripped her clean off. And she wouldn't have been able to talk about it under any circumstances. That's how you know that he was up to something nefarious. For all his talk about, oh, I would do something wicked if it wasn't for sweet, quiet Robin keeping me from doing something that everybody would regret. He planned on doing something wicked. It's just that Mary didn't go along with it. And good for Mary, because for whatever reason, you know, I mean, we could say the friends, we could say because Cody basically, embarrassed her, said he didn't want her, or he's talking shit about her friends, and that was her line, or whatever it was. I don't care. She hit her line, and she didn't just go along with the first dumb thing he presented. Because there was a time when Mary would have signed that NDA and would have been sitting there smiling to herself as she did it and said, Cody and Robin would never do something bad to me. You think? You think he gonna do something nasty? I don't think he will, because that's not who he is. He totally, woman, he's been ripping you off the whole time. Girlfriend, I gotta tell you. Like, I don't want to be the guy who's a bearer of bad news, but yeah, he been getting you the whole damn time. Yeah, you too is my time machine. You saw that haircut? Oh, for those who don't know, let's take a little stroll back. Sunday show. This came across where they were talking about Cody's new cut, his new do. You know what I mean? Cody lost first. Cody lost the his wives. Now Cody's decided to cut the fifth sister off. Let's take a look. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Good day New York with that, with the somebody called it the COVID cut. Oh man, did not go to a barber and get that. Like, I don't even know. Like, it made the bald spot worse. I don't know what the hell he doing with that. Like, bro, you need to just let that shit go. It's over. Like, it's been over for a while. Like, let's keep it all the way, but it's been over for a while. Everybody knew you had a big ass bald spot on top of your head. Like, you're fooling nobody. Like, he's the guy with the toupee that everybody knows is a toupee. Like, bro, you're not even wearing a toupee. You're wearing a straight up wig at this point. Like, you got a wig hat on. So you need to just go ahead, rip that bad boy off, rip the Band-Aid off. Just go ahead and, Robin convinced him to shave his face, supposedly. She need to talk about that little spot on the front. Like, just go ahead and take that spot off. That little patch of hair is doing a lot of work up there. But I don't want to get too personal. Too late, I guess. But let's get back to the phone calls. We also had Lacey. Let's hear what Lacey has to say.
Hi, James. This is Lacey calling from Germany. I want to address something that Janelle said a couple of episodes ago. She said that Mary's child was insured through Cody because they were legally married. Janelle's children were insured by herself because of her job. Why didn't Cody ever consider divorcing Mary legally and marrying Christine to insure her children? Instead, he waited until he married Robin to adopt her children. And I mean, if Leon was insured by Cody, surely the family could afford one child's insurance rather than 6. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that we're kind of, I think that would make the most sense. Financially, that would make the most sense. The problem that you have is that this family, even before Robin came in the family, let's be very clear, they were not operating as one family. They weren't. Like, it was, they were closer to it prior to Robin coming in the family. And this is just my opinion. This is my perspective. They were closer to it prior to Robin coming in the family, but they still weren't, 100% one family. And I say that to say this, because if Cody would have went to Mary and asked her for a divorce, Mary would have lost her shit. She would have lost her damn mind. right? She barely wanted to give the divorce to Cody and Robin. And she was asked to do that. Cody asked her to do that. Like, I don't believe that shit for a minute that Mary just took it upon herself to go off to the lawyer's office all on her own to divorce Cody so that they could bring them kids. That was just bullshit. That was something they said for the show. Mary prided herself in being the first wife. Even now, when you listen to her talk, even when she does interviews currently, she talks about how she was the founder of this family. Cody and her designed and put this family together. They're the ones that came up with this whole like structure of the family. She took a lot of pride in that, and part of that pride is her being the first wife. So she was never going to give anybody else the divorce and the ability to marry Cody. Secondly, I don't think Cody ever would have legally married Christine. Let me say that one more again. I don't think Cody was ever going to marry Christine. I don't care what she did. He was never going to marry her unless there was some kind of clear benefit that he was going to get by marrying Christine legally. He was never going to give her the title, and that's all it is. Like in the polygamy thing, the way they talk about it is just simply the title. It's like you're a heavyweight fighter and you do a heavyweight bout and you are the champion of the world when you get that marriage certificate, because you're legally now responsible for the other wives. You have power. You have legal power at that point. And technically, even with Cody being married to Mary, he still melted her ring down, talking about, I don't want you to have that much control of me. As long as you have that paper, she has control of you. And that was the first clue that Mary should have had, that he was going to give that title to Robin, because he didn't want to be married to Mary. I don't think he was going to make that mistake twice and marry another one of the OG3, even though it would make sense so that he could provide them insurance. And let's be honest, like, insurance costs money. And in some cases, your insurance isn't free. And if Cody would have went into the job that he had, which would seem like it was a near-do-well job, where some months he did really well, other months, and probably more months, more often than not, he didn't do that well financially. He wasn't going to take on Christine and her 6 kids and put them on his insurance, because that could have ate his whole damn checkup. So he just made it so that they were responsible for their own kids. But let's listen to the next message that Lacey left. If I can get my screen up, there it is.
Hey there, it's Lacey again. I also wanted to address something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Robin once stated that she couldn't pay her debt because she was pretty much in the poorhouse and she was heating the home on a wood stove in a trailer for her children. So how then did she afford to load 3 kids up in a busted car, drive 5 hours, pay for gas, feed these children on the road just to go to church? Something is fishy about that to me. Also, the fact that she was going to see her cousin Reba, but we've never ever met Reba and we've never heard of her since. Like, she doesn't exist in their circles nowadays. So if Robin was so close to her, where is she? And how did she afford to travel? It makes no sense to me.
She heard opportunity. I mean, I think that's all it was. Like, to be honest with you, when I heard about the story about her traveling all that way, especially with her being a divorcee, 3 kids, trying to figure out how to get things going financially broken, and you're traveling 5 hours from your home to Lehigh, Utah, so that you can attend a service, and you have 3 kids under 5. Like, well, I think what's the name? Date might have been older than 5, but I mean, give me a damn break. What are you doing here? 3 kids definitely under 10. There's no way in the world I'm doing that. Not weekend after weekend. You know, and she went to Lehigh a couple times, and that's a major trip. Like, anybody who's done stuff like that, like traveled, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. That's a major trip because you're going to stop for gas. You have to go there with your gas tank full. You're taking a chance on your vehicle, especially if, just being a responsible adult. If this is your means to get back and forth to work, to be able to put food on your table, and your car is already raggedy and like one step, you know what I mean? Like you one skid mark away from putting this bad boy in a junker. Hey, this thing is a damn walking cube. Like this thing should have been cubed up a long time ago at the junkyard. And you're taking this thing 5 hours away with your kids in the car, and this is your only means of transportation back and forth to work. It makes no sense. And so you could go in and maybe hang out with your cousin so you can get a new atmosphere. No, I am not ready for a new atmosphere. But what it sounded like to me when I heard all that, it sounded like she went there with a plan. Because even in the AUB, the close-knit, closed community of the AUB, and you have a family coming out talking about they're going to expose the secrets of this secret society. You can't tell me that they weren't talking about this, like what he was planning on doing all over Utah, all over Wyoming, and all over anywhere else, Montana, anywhere else that the AUB was. I'm sure these people had thoughts about what Cody and the Brown family was talking about doing, because what they were talking about doing not only would impact them, but it would impact everybody in that church, because there was no guarantee that when the Brown family came out, they were going to be accepted, revered, and loved the way they were and well received the way they were. They could have came out and that could have shined a light on the whole thing, and it could have turned that whole polygamous enterprise of the AUB on its head. Like they could have all of a sudden you have people, DAs running on the platform of prosecuting every polygamist they come across, and this is inhumane, and sex trafficking and all kinds of crazy stuff. This could have went terrible. So you can't tell me that this wasn't being passed around. But what's funny to me is despite all that, Robin still got in her car and drove 5 hours away. She still got in her car and drove 5 hours away because she wanted to be on TV. And that's what makes the whole idea of she's so shy and she's so pretty and she's so quiet so ridiculous. Because nobody who is shy, pretty, and quiet jumps in their car with 3 kids. Can't let that go. 3 dang on kids drive 5 hours each way. You understand what I mean? 300 miles so that you can potentially meet this person so you can shake your ass in front of them in church. Because I'm shy. I'm shy. Yeah. That's not shy. That's not shy. She went there on a purpose. Like she was there on a purpose. It is what it is. And she was successful at it. So bully for her. And here's the quiet part. Let me say the quiet part out loud. Let me just float this out to you guys. The horrifying thought. She probably wasn't the only one. Let me say that one more time. She probably wasn't the only one. She's the only one we know about because she was successful. But I guarantee you there were other women who had floated down to that church and wanted to be seen by Cody. So like Robin was probably standing in line to try to walk down past Cody and shake her ass and drop shit and bend over in front of him. You know what I mean? Trying to get a cent up in the air. There was probably more than, probably people in her church, people who knew the family personally was trying to get in on that, because that was a huge opportunity, especially for people who are like poor. Like if you're poor, and you talking about, you burning shit, like you got your stove open because you trying to heat the house. Most dangerous shit you can do, by the way, because the pilot light go out, you might kill everybody in there. Somebody come flip a switch, blow your house to the moon, right? She's doing all that to try to heat this house, put food on the table for 3 kids. Yeah, she's willing to take the chance. She's willing to do whatever it takes for her to be able to provide for her kids and her family. But let's listen to what Lacey has to say. Another tape, another recording.
And this number 2 message. But just how Cody and Robin can do all the things they did and watch all these people that they've hurt, and Cody abandoned and didn't care about providing medical care, anything, taking literally food from his children. I mean, I'm sure they ate well, all the children, but he didn't care if they ate, as long as Robin was able to get her nice mansion, her art on the walls, her dolls, all that shit. I don't know how people can put their head on their pillow every night and sleep and treating people so poorly. And then their narcissistic, views on things that they turn it around and gaslight everybody else that it's their fault. Anyway, I just think there's a heavy price to pay for that behavior. And whether it's in this universe or the next universe, there will be payback for that. And I think Cody's getting a taste of it on Special Forces, but they don't really understand who Cody really is. So I don't think he's really going to get it there, and he's not going to change from this experience. It's not going to do anything. But my heart just goes out to the children, and I think they were the heart of the show. And
Oh, she got cut off. That's okay. She has one more message. But well, let's just go ahead and listen to her last message.
and final message. But I do think the kids, I can understand why people got into the Sister Wives from the earlier seasons, because I think it was kind of, for me, the kids watching them. They were the heart of the show, and really, you were rooting for them. And I think the viewers really cared about these kids, and it breaks my heart where everybody is now. And I hope that they all heal, and I don't think anybody's going to heal until the show ends. And I'm just curious, James, I think about in 10 years from now, and I probably shouldn't even be thinking about this stuff. I should be moving on and thinking about positive things, but I wonder where Cody and Robin are going to be 10 years from now, because I can guarantee you she won't be with him. And I hope they get their payback in this life. I really do. Not that I want ill will for people, but I kind of do for them, honestly. But I think Cody's, who knows? I just think, I'm curious what you think, where they're going to be. And I think there's going to be some books written by the kids. I think probably a documentary about TLC and the craziness. Some of the family is going to talk about it. And I think Cody's going to have a real downward spiral to where, I don't know where. But anyway, thanks.
Yeah, I think that it's fair play, but we also have to take into account they started out poor. Okay, they started out poor. They did not end poor. Okay, they started out, all of them had a lot of bills. Like the first few seasons was us watching them get themselves out of debt and into positive income. We have to remember, each one of these women, if we call them individual families, each one of these individual families, these cast members, Christine separate, Mary separate, Janelle separate, Cody separate, Robin separate, technically Robin and Cody together. But those households were six-figure households. They were the top 1% of income earners. They're not poor, okay? If they suffered for food insecurities after they got the show, 3-4 seasons after they got the show, then that's because they were making poor financial decisions, because they were making more than enough money to put food on the table at that point. More than enough money to put food on the table. So we have to be very careful to keep track of where they started isn't where they ended. The second part of it is that with the where will they be in 10 years? I don't think that the show is going to last another 2 seasons. I'd be damn surprised especially the way the show is going, if they have maybe one more season involved, then they try to roll out a bunch of spinoffs that most likely won't do well. There is a push, and I want to talk about this more specifically, but there is a push that they're using to try to make to plant seeds so that they can give Cody and Robin another show. Right? They're trying to set them up so they can have another show. We may not like it, we may not appreciate it, but trust me when I'm telling you that this is what TLC is doing. Right? And Cody is on board with that shit, and he's working his ass off. He's pushing the carpets the whole nine. He's doing everything he can to try to push his new show to recraft his image. But I don't think that, see, his villainy only really works in the confines of polygamy. His villainy only works in the confines of polygamy. Because if you take Cody and you put him with, he's not as confrontational. He's only confrontational for real, when he's dealing with his wives or people who are tied to him in some way, people that he has power over. Once he has power over you, he'll talk mad shit to you. He go crazy. But when he doesn't feel like he has power or control in a situation, you can tell by how he reacts and acts on special forces, even in some circumstances when he does different interviews, not to tell all, but different interviews, and he's talking to people, his demeanor is completely different. He is not the bully guy who's going to get into another reality show and then still be the villainous, outspoken, I'm just going to do evil shit to be doing evil shit guy. And even if he does decide to do evil stuff, what stuff is he going to do and who is he going to do it to? So I don't even think that, like, right now, I don't see a pathway for him to have a show. I don't know what they would. I'm asking this as a question. What are they going to talk about? What is this show going to be about? The show has to be about something. The previous Sister Wives show, as it was formatted previously when it first started, it was a show about polygamy and how people in polygamy interact and deal with the mainstream world and how they interact with society and them coming out and letting everybody know. So there's like a life-changing event. Okay, fine. But what is Cody going to talk about? Oh, this is my beautiful bride. Who gives a shit? Right? So it's just, she thinks I'm sexy. I'm going to cut off my beard next. I'm gonna cut off my hair because that's so important. The only people who know about his hair, the fifth sister, are people who watch the show, and the people who watch the show typically won't support his show. So, I mean, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? So I don't know. My man needs to figure it out. But next up, we got Sunny Bunny.
Hi, James. I just wanted to leave this message to say that Janelle is kind of pissing me off in this episode. Okay, so there are multiple things that have happened in this episode specifically that have given me pause, because up until this moment, I was kind of rooting for her and her friendship with Christine. Which, great, fine, awesome. But this episode was mostly about Janelle and Mary. And one of the first things that made me take a beat was when she said that, yeah, I was the only one talking to Cody. Mary wasn't talking to Cody. Which in my mind is like, if you're such a big advocate for Mary and, making sure that she gets what she needs out of Coyote Pass, why don't you just get her on a call all the time? Like, if Cody comes up to you and they're like, hey, Janelle, let's have a chat about Coyote Pass, my instinct would be like, cool, let me get Mary in here as well. It's a fucking Zoom call. Like, what are we doing? And then the fact that she said to Cody, like, yeah, you can absolutely sell this from under Mary. Like, you can absolutely do that. And I'm like, do you not realize how you come across right now?
Okay. Well, I think that because the thing with the whole Mary part of the conversation with Janelle, it did come off kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I guess you could sell out from under. I think that's her trying to be logical. That he has a right to do it if he wants to do it, because that's the logical answer. It's not incorrect. I will say that maybe, I mean, just as devil's advocate, maybe part of the reason why she's not, include Mary is because when she went to Mary and tried to warn Mary, Mary not only questioned the validity of what Janelle was saying when she said, we might have to get a lawyer and go after them. Make sure you lawyer up. And Mary sat there and was like, we don't need you think we need a lawyer? They wouldn't do us wrong. No, Cody wouldn't do that to us. And then she went right back and told Cody and Robin, you know how Cody operates. The first call he made after Mary left was to Janelle. I heard you was talking about getting a lawyer because you can't trust me. What's that shit about? So after that is every mug for theyself. And I think that that's one of the things that's actually one of the earmarks of the Brown family is that ultimately it was everybody looking out for themselves. It just when Robin came in, it just became that much more obvious because not only was everybody looking out for themselves, but she wanted to divide everybody. So before everybody was looking out for themselves, but they were under one roof. And Robin wanted to do everybody doing it for themselves, and she wanted everybody to live in different locations. So that way they couldn't keep track of her getting preferential treatment because she was looking out for herself and she was winning. So I think that that's one of the things that we have to take into consideration. But let's listen to Sunny Bunny Part 2.
So I'm sitting here listening to this and I'm like, I understand that he could do that because of the way that, all the paperwork was filed, blah, blah, blah. But you told him not to, right, Janelle? Right? Because what are we doing? And then for Janelle to have this little segment on the show where she's with her friends and they're all shit talking Christine in front of a camera, because clearly, like, it's not like it's hide and seek. I'm pretty sure those cameras and camera people and every producer, whatever, are pretty visible to these people. And if her friends are so comfortable shit talking Christine with Janelle on camera, you know for a fact that these conversations, and worse than this, were had behind the scenes, like in their private lives, right? And part of me is like, what are you doing, Janelle? Like, everybody was rooting for you, and now you're just kind of pulling this mean girl thing. And then after that conversation of like, oh yeah, you can absolutely sell the land from under Mary, then you have this image of them showing up of Coyote Pass and hugging. Like, what is happening with Janelle?
Yeah, I think that this is actually one of the things I had talked about before with the dangers of like the spinoff is that ultimately, and again, I'm not bashing anybody on the show per se. I'm just saying that ultimately everybody on the show has problems fundamentally. And in some cases, you get a pass if the person next to you is worse than you are. So, in some regards, the OG3, nobody is really critically looking at the OG3 because you have such horrible people or horrible characters on the show as presented by Cody and Robin. So nobody's really ever looked at Janelle, Mary, and Christine. Like Mary a little bit. Like, she's taking some heats, taking some shots. But nobody's ever really looked at Christine and Janelle because everybody kind of felt bad for them. But when it comes down to it, there are points where you can look at Janelle and say, what is going on? Like, for instance, she was supposed to be doing the books and the taxes, and she knew that Cody was misappropriating funds, but she never went back and said to the other wives, hey, yo, this dude he ripping us off, y'all. Like, that was a conversation that never happened. Now, you could make the argument that she was concerned or fearful that if she did go back and tell them, they would all run back and tell Cody, in which case it just make it tougher on her and her kids. I get that, but I mean, it's just things like that that kind of creates is problematic for Janelle's character or as presented on the show. So it does come off kind of two-faced, like you're talking to Cody, you're dealing with Cody because you can, and there's an aspect of Janelle's character that allows her to be manipulated by Cody. And it's the thing of her saying that I think about things logically. To me, that strikes me as every now and again, you go hang out with your buddies, right? As a dude, you hang out with your male friends, and they'll bring their significant others. And for whatever reason, like the guys will tend to kind of congregate in one space and the ladies will congregate in another space, right? And there's always in these situations one or two ladies who kind of gravitate over to the guys and they want to hang out with the guys and talk to the guys. And if you ask them, and I don't, this isn't always, but you ask them, they say, well, I don't have no male friend. I don't have no female friends. All my friends are men because women get on my nerves because they too emotional. I like to think more logical. So therefore, in their mind, being a man makes you more logical. And they don't like to be associated with being a woman because they're illogical and emotional. One of the things that Janelle always brings up is the fact that she's logical, which is a way of saying that I'm not like them, these ladies, because they're emotional and I'm logical. And she makes a strong point to say that. The problem is that because you're so desperately trying to align yourself that way, it opens you up for manipulation. Because the same way on the other side, the same way Cody could say to the ladies when they come out and do things, oh, you're just being emotional. You're being emotional. That's why you should just let me rip you off. Because if you don't let me rip you off, you're being emotional. If he says that to Janelle, it cuts even deeper. So when he's spending the money out from under her, or he's going back, he's telling the ladies, yeah, I'm going to divorce Mary. Even though you don't like Mary, you know Mary's not going to steal money from you. And I'm going to marry Robin. And then Janelle gets upset and she can't articulate why she's upset. Why? Because if she articulates why she's upset, because that would be emotional. And she's trying to figure out the logic. This is actually something she said to Cody. I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm just trying to figure out the logic to it. I got to figure the logic out. The logical response is we're going to take the financial responsibility that is vested in Mary and give it to somebody who is proven to be financially irresponsible. And that could financially devastate, if not ruin, the family. The logical response is there's no reason in the world why we should give financial control to a person who hasn't earned financial control and hasn't established themselves as some kind of person to be able to adjudicate this case fairly and equitably. If something happens to Cody, she's going to take what she feels like she deserves. Talking about Robin, she's not going to make sure everybody gets taken care of. She's going to make sure her and her kids get taken care of first. And if there's anything left after they have all their needs met, then they might get taken care of. And that's part of the problem that Janelle has, because Janelle's approaching it. I'm trying to be logical. Forget being logical. You understand what I mean? You got logical. Sometimes it's logical for you to be emotional. That's the logical response. So I think that's one of the ways that Cody's been able to take advantage of Janelle, because she feels like she's on the inside. You're one of his best friends because you talk to him on his level, because he's logical and you're logical too. And you can talk to him on his level like a man would talk to him. And that's the way I think that's the way they see it. But see, man, woman, that shit don't matter. What matters is if you're in a relationship with somebody, you should be able to talk to them like a partner, right? Because you're going to bring things to the relationship, hopefully, that they don't have. They're going to bring things to the relationship that you don't have. And you guys can complement each other. That's what partners do. But when you're trying to be him, or you're trying to be like him, or he's trying to be like you, or whatever the case may be, it's like you're just going to get taken advantage of. And that's, I think, what we've been seeing. We had some super chats come through. Let me bring those up. We had Lizzie B with the $2 super chat, one of the mega mods. Salute. The adoption was a way to get Jessup out of the way. Yeah. I think the adoption was because the ex-husband, the kid's natural father, didn't want them filming on Sister Wives. He didn't want them on a reality show. He thought it would spoil them and it could expose them and get them made fun of, et cetera, et cetera. So he didn't like the idea of it. So he was trying to get them off the show. In which case, that's why I think that Robin turned right around and basically said he was a shit dad, because technically he was in the way, because this woman drove 5 hours with no money scraping together gas money and food money so she could feed the kids along the way, and crashing out at her cousin's house so that she could have the opportunity to meet Cody. She did all these things, get herself on the show, and here her ex-husband come talking about he wanted to get off the show now. Yeah, she took his rights away, right? And then you say, well, James, how do you know that's the reason? I kind of have a strong indication that might be the reason, because at the end of the day, right after Cody was awarded custody, or he was granted adoption of the kids, she sent the kids off to the parent who was supposedly a non-parent and was such a danger to the kids and such a detriment to the kids. She sent them right to his house for 2 weeks. You know what? If I have to strip my wife of her legal rights to my kids, there's no way in the world she's ever going to be in a room with her by herself. They definitely ain't going to a house for 2 weeks. I don't give a shit what's happening. If I have to strip your rights away, you're never going to be in a room with them by yourself ever. Ever, 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 ever. All your visits are supervised. Ain't no way in the world. But that's just kind of the incompatibility of sister wives. And again, that whole segment of that disgusts me. I think that's disgusting. I think it's disgusting because there are too many people out there who actually have legitimate problems with kids and children growing up in certain households. There are legitimate issues that should be addressed. For the courts to have to go back and try to address some parent because he's trying to mess up her business opportunity, like that shit is crazy to me. You lying about him is crazy to me. You saying that you're going to strip his rights away is crazy to me. Even the kids saw him as their father. So the kids, it's the best interest of the child, not the best interest of the mom or you messing up a reality show career. It's the best interest of the child. It's in the best interest of the kids to have a relationship with their parent. And for her to strip them away just because of that is insane. But thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let me give you a little something. Go up to my whatchamacallits. Then we had Jody Periscala, $1.99 super chart. I am late. Did you all watch Notes to Self? I have not. I have not watched Notes to Self. Yeah. But thank you so much for the super chat. All right, let me these grays. Those women are normally hoes that only have guy friends and call women haters. Daisy said that. I didn't say that. I ain't called nobody no garden tools. I'm just saying. It's kind of like, I only have guy friends because women are petty. Guys can be petty too. Okay. Guys can be petty too. When men are not, they're logical, women are emotional. No, guys can be emotional too. I mean, shit, why? I tell you what, go to a sports bar on Sunday and you tell me that the response that them guys have watching these grown-ass men playing football, a child's game, okay, because that's what it is. You tell me that those guys are not emotional. Look, I'm going to tell you, as embarrassing as this shit is, I remember there was a guy I was cool with, and we were at work, we were talking, we were chopping it up, and this is a long time ago before the Eagles. Like, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan, right? Watch the Birds. And we were talking, and a longtime rival was the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys had a pretty good run in the 90s, right? With Aiken and Smith, and I mean, it was just insane. Like their lineup was crazy. And I remember we got into we started going back and forth about football, blah, 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 blah. Don't you know, it devolved to the point where we was almost in a fist fight because we was talking so much shit about the other person's team. And that's a completely emotional thing. I was like, this is dumb as hell. Like, I'm about to fight a dude for a bunch of strangers over a bunch of strangers who are millionaires. These guys get paid millions of dollars and they don't even fight each other. we standing there arguing and cussing and stuff, ready to scrap it out over something stupid that don't really have nothing to do with us. It's just a place and a location and a team that a billionaire has put a football team in a city, and that city is aligned with that football team because the billionaire put it there. And they have a bunch of millionaires out there playing a child's game, and we ready to scrap it out. And we ain't working at a job where we making millions of dollars. We fighting over we arguing and cussing over a football game that don't have nothing to do with us, for real. But we don't have the same passion about the place that put food on our table because we work together. Like, what? It's the stupidest shit. You can't tell me men aren't emotional. There was years ago, there was a quote. I don't know who said it. I know where I heard it, but I don't know if they actually came out with it. But it was a guy. He said, one day I was sitting there and I was having a heated discussion with my female assistant. My young lady was my assistant, and she looked at me and she made a point, and he said, "You know what?" So I threw my hands up and I said, as a man, I can't deal with the emotional sways of women, in your menstrual cycles, basically talking about the periods. And she retorted back and said, well, men do have periods. They're called wars. And I never forgot it. I've just butchered the whole quote. But basically it's saying that like we are emotional. But when we get emotional, cities get burnt. Civilizations end. Men are emotional. That's ridiculous for people to make that position. Like one is not better than the other. It's just such a crazy situation. Yeah, I have two chats running. I have it's a weird thing. Like my provider does, like, depending on how you watch the show. So if you're on a computer, I think it's one chat. If you're on like a mobile, it's a different. I don't know. I gotta try to unite them or just have to chuck one. I don't know. Lady D London. Good night. Good night, lady. Then we had okay. But let's get back to the phone calls. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's go to the I think you did both Sunny Bunnies. Yeah. We have Tanya.
This episode was somewhat interesting to me, just in the regard of what you were talking about on Sunday with David bringing up the topic of whenever the show ends, which it will inevitably end. It seems like David is the only one that realizes that. Um, that the spending is Christine's going to have to tighten up her belt with the spending because they're going to be living on his income alone, which David, I've looked him up. David is a millionaire. Like, his construction company since the 80s has been going good. So the fact that he still is about tightening his belt, even though David makes really great money and ain't struggling at all, and could probably keep her in the lifestyle that she's accustomed to with all that crazy spending, but he has sense and is like, we're going to retire at some point and I don't want to be living hand to mouth. So we got to tighten this up. Okay, I'm Team David again this week. And then you cut to Cody bopping into their house that they can't afford, going over to Robin in this pantry that's got stuff shoved all over the place, talking about, I got to clean it out before I can put more stuff in. Okay.
Yeah, I like that aspect of the show too. I also like the way they set it up where you did have one couple talking about financial responsibility and good stewardship when it comes to your money. You have the other couple who is demonstrating what, shit financial decisions look like. To add to that, I would just simply say that good for David, because one of the things I've known people on both sides of the tracks. Like I said, I'm been blessed to be able to come in contact with a whole host of variety of people. And one of the things that I noticed is that poor people and people, I'd say poor, but people who have questionable financial means, right? They spend a great deal of effort trying to cosplay as somebody who has money. People who have money, like real money, real money, you would never know it because they don't have to brag. They don't have to, they don't have to wear, 15 gold chains and drive the most expensive new car. They don't have to pull up in a $200,000 car to feel valuable. Right? You'll talk to like a guy who'll be a multi-millionaire. He driving a damn Honda Accord. You talk to somebody who living in a basement with their mom at their mom's house or in a garage or some shit. That guy is driving a brand new, most recent model of a BMW, Lexus, Mercedes Benz, top end everything, leather this, convertible that, it's insanity. It's insanity. And it's all like he's not even buying a car. He's leasing it, because he can't afford to buy the car. The other guy could buy and sell. The guy driving a Honda Accord, he could buy and sell the damn dealership if he wanted to. Like I said, I know a guy. He was so loaded. He was so loaded. It was crazy how much money he had. Right. And this is his trust fund money that he didn't even tap into like his real wealth. He had ridiculous, like when I say ridiculous money, I'm talking about ridiculous money, right? And I met him when I was in college. And this dude, he's walking around, pair of flip-flops, right? Flip-flops, ripped up jeans or pants, and what they used to refer to as a DR rug, drug rug, right? One of those like nasty, grimy ass looking surfer sweaters or whatever. Let me see if I can call up yeah, here we go. I got some images. I'll show you what the image looks like. And he used to walk around with this crap, and you be thinking my man is broke as hell. He broke as hell. This dude was super loaded. Like he had so much money. It was ridiculous how much money he had. He has so much money, but you would never know it. And the craziest part is that, part of the challenge that a lot of people don't realize is that you can sit there and you sitting there, go to the financial. There was a financial guy who said, he's sitting there and the guy comes in, he gets his book, like, look at this guy. He looks fabulous. I look fabulous. Got Christian Dior on, blah, blah, blah. And, everybody got tags. He go through my man's books. He don't have nothing. He don't have no money. Then another person come in, they wearing a pair of cut off jeans, ripped up jeans, or he wearing like a pair of khakis and a sensible sweater, sit down. He got money for days, money falling out everywhere. And the lesson that I learned from that is that when you have real money, one, you don't have to show it off. Two, real money likes to keep money. Let me say that one more time. Real money likes to keep money. If David works himself up to where he has a multi-million-dollar business, he's not trying to blow through that business. He's not trying to blow through all his money so that way he has nothing to leave for his wife, his kids, and his family. Like a lot of these guys, they spend a lot of time trying to take care of themselves and take care of their family, get themselves in position so they could do the stuff that they want to do, But like, when you have somebody who's used to or okay with seeing, going to their bank account and seeing zeros when they hit their balance sheet, they balance on a Mac machine or they most or whatever you guys have, ATM, they hit it's like $10.59. Like, whoo, I can get $10 out. Right? When you're used to that, you're okay with spending your money to the dimes and nickels. But he's trying to elevate her. I think that David's trying to teach her how to be wealthy. Because again, I used to say that all the time. I'm a rich man living a poor man's life. The only reason I haven't been blessed with the money yet is because there's some lessons I have to learn. One of the lessons you have to learn, especially if you're going to have wealth, is how to be wealthy. Everybody thinks it's easy being rich. It's not easy being rich. It's not that you don't have any problems, you just have different problems. And you have to learn to negotiate those problems. So when you have a significant amount of money, you have to know how to negotiate that. You have to know when to say no. You get paid six figures, you don't spend six figures. You get paid $1 million a year, you don't spend $999,000 every time you get your paycheck, because you'll never have anything. More money, more problems. I want to say more money, more problems. Just got more money, different problems. But let's check out Tanya part 2.
Sorry. Talking about I got to clean it out before I put more stuff in. Did you see the hoarding of Siete chips and cookies and a million cereal boxes opened? What in the hell is going on at the Brown house? Lord have mercy. And then you cut over to him taking a gym mat from a
Hi, James. This is
Sorry about that. Go back.
Sorry. Talking about I got to clean it out before I put more stuff in. Did you see the hoarding of Siete chips and cookies and a million cereal boxes opened? What in the hell is going on at the Brown house? Lord have mercy. And then you cut over to him taking a gym mat from a high school that was throwing it out. That thing is funky as hell. And you're out there cleaning it with vinegar in the garage that I thought we were letting Dayton live in with his RV, but it turns out that it's just an air conditioned garage for Cody to store more of their shit. What are we doing? Like, the two of them are so delusional. When David talks about we're going to be living on my one income, we got to tighten our belt. The level of respect I have for his financial intelligence, and then cutting over to Cody and Robin, who are just blowing through money like they're freaking Brad Pitt and 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 Jennifer Aniston, and they're just never going to go out of money. Like, what in the hell? What income are the two of them going to fall back on? Whose income are they living on whenever the show ends? Because the show is their income. Oh, holy moly. They give me anxiety when I watch the two of them. It's so ridiculous.
Part of the reason why you get anxiety, Tanya, is because you're thinking more about their finances than they are. Okay. They don't think it's ever going to end. And I think that that's part of the problem. They don't think it's ever going to end. They don't realize that they're actually in a decline now. Like, you guys have really got to start consolidating. Now was not the time for them to go out and spend $2.1 million on a house unless you re-upped your contract and you were guaranteed. You have guarantee money, right? Not, okay, yeah, I got this huge contract because they really excited about having me on for the season 21 player. We about to make this paper, yo. I'm talking about guaranteed money. We're going to give you X amount of dollars over the course of X amount of years for services rendered, to the point where it's locked in that you're guaranteed this amount of money. Even if we cancel the show, you're going to get this check. Then you go out and buy maybe not a $2.1 million house, but you get yourself something nice. You pay your house off, that kind of stuff. But not these two. Not these two. Because it wouldn't be a show if they made good decisions. I'm going to leave it there. It wouldn't be a show. If they made good financial decisions, they wouldn't have a show. And I think that's all it is. we would be it would be boring if they were making good financial decisions. Yeah, I just, it's a waste of time, waste of money. But Tanya part 3.
And then my third one. I'm sorry. I don't like talking about anybody's kids, but what are these two grown adult women that are in AUB standards, spinsters at this point, still doing at the house? Do they live in that little house on the property? Is that where Brianna was coming from whenever she came up to the main house to help move the periwinkle blue picnic table that daddy uncle made for Robin, because what is going on? My mind reels when we get into this house. The figurines that we're gluing to the top of the mantle, the paintings that Cody keeps pretending he put up, which we know he got professionals to do, because we never actually see him putting any up except that really paper thin one of him and on their anniversary. My mind, there's no safe place to rest your eyes when you look in there. It's just chaos, like Cody's head. But these girls, why are they still at the house? Why does Aurora sound so depressed when she speaks? I'm concerned. I'm worried about her. Ugh, I don't know.
I think that they're at the house because ultimately Robin can't let them go. It's a way for her to control what they do, where they go, and for her to keep an eye on them to try to protect her kids, right? I think that the reason why they look so scared, and even with Ari last week saying, we're not going to go to County Pass, we're going to sell it. And then Ari blew her line because I genuinely think that, especially because Cody and Robin are so invested in crafting and curating their own storylines, that I'd be willing to bet, and I have no proof of this, but I'd be willing to bet that they actually feed lines to their kids, like lines that they're supposed to say. So when I come to you and I say, you want to invite Brody over to the house, then I want you to come in and tell me that you're inviting Brody to the house, or he asked you to be his girlfriend. And your response should be like, oh my goodness, I'm a little nervous about what mom and dad think. Basically, the lines that you would give a young lady who is like 13, 14 years old. What do you mean you have a boyfriend? You're too young for a boyfriend, that kind of thing, right? Not lines that you would feed a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old. A 22-year-old woman in college, because she's a woman now. She's not a little girl. She's a grown-ass woman. So a 22-year-old woman who's in college and she has a boyfriend, it's not so much I'm asking you permission to have a boyfriend. It's I want my boyfriend to come over and meet you guys, or to let you guys know I'm more informing you that we're getting serious. And we've decided to be, we decided to make our situation, we're going to commit to each other, right? Okay, cool. But that's not what they're doing. I think they're shy and scared because they're just bad actors, and they're nervous. They're scared about being on TV because if you look at it, even though they've been on TV now too for the 20 seasons, they've also not been the focus of any of the storylines. So they've kind of been in the background. Go up and tell your brother that you're excited, and they go running across the room and jump up on top of them. That kind of stuff, because they're supposed to be excited. That's what they're told to do. They're directed by their parents to do a certain thing. And that's what I think we're seeing with them. And I think that's also why they come off inauthentic. And that's also why they're struggling for approval of the fan base and the audience, because fans, and this is one thing that always kind of, it blows my mind. People who come up with these types of shows, they never seem to respect an audience's ability to detect bullshit. Right? Audiences have this amazing ability to be able to tell whether you're authentic, whether there's something wrong, what you're saying makes sense. They can tell. And when you come up with something like they come up with, a lot of what they say just doesn't make sense. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people don't like or I want to say they don't like the kids, Robin's kids. They're just not, they don't feel as close to them because they just don't feel like they're being honest. And so they don't feel tied to them. Yeah. Katie said they've always been background, but always front and center. Yeah, like they've always been around, but they were never the story. Like the only time they were the story was when they were adopted. Other than that, not so much. But let's listen to Tanya's last message.
Ooh, I never do a fourth one, but I have to. When Cody
Bonus.
said Jen is his nemesis because she encouraged he heard that Jen encouraged her to drain out their bank account and leave. We know Mary didn't tell him that. And he said that uh, Jen told Janelle this, that she thinks that's what Mary should do. So does this mean that Janelle ran back and told Cody what Jen told her? Because if that's the case, then everybody's being messy. And then secondly, what account are we talking about? Did Cody and Mary have an account together because they were married back in Vegas that was separate from the family account? Because I kind of remember him having an account with Janelle, and Janelle wondering why her name got taken off of it or something's foolish. Can you clarify that up, or what? How did you read that? I kind of read that as like him and Mary had their own private account outside of the family account, and she was saying drain that account and leave because she wouldn't really be able to drain the family account because Cody had the checkbook on that. And then, do you think that Janelle was being messy, running back to Cody and telling Cody, "Oh my God, Mary's best friend Jen said this"? Because how else would he have known?
I think that's a fine bit of detective work. uh oh, let me see. Hold on a second. I think that's a fine bit of detective work. As far as it goes, I here's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, let's go back to front. So when it comes to who told, I think Janelle told. Well, I suspect Janelle told. And it might be as nefarious as Janelle is scared because it comes out that this is what Jen had encouraged Mary to do, and it would directly impact Janelle to, you need to watch out for Mary because Jen is telling her to empty the damn bank account. So you need to make sure you got the bank account tight, right? Because one of the things Christine revealed in her book, and this is why I'm not sure which account they were referring to. Yes, Janelle said that she had an account with Cody, and he didn't want to take his name off of her account, so he had access to her private account. But Christine had also said that they all had access to the family fund. They all had access to it. It's just that none of them took advantage of that access. They just gave control to Cody. They let Cody do it. So if Mary had access to the family fund, and she was telling, how people talk. She's telling like all the money that she's giving to Cody, and she's not getting no benefit. And she basically paid for her kid to go to college, and she's paying for all these other people's kids to go to college because she's kicking into the family fund. Then her friend Jen very well may take the position, and girl, that's your money. You need to go get your money and hat the hell up. Because you're paying more to their kids than you are to your own kids and to yourself, and they got to benefit from it. So you should just go ahead and take your money, right? So I can see that conversation happening. And if that was the conversation and she did have access to the family fund and they were referring to the family fund, then yeah, Janelle would go back and tell Cody because she would be trying to, it's not that she's telling Cody because she's loyal to Cody, she's protecting herself. Because if Mary did that, she would be emptying out the money from the family fund. That's her money too. And the crazy part about it, this is something I've been saying. Basic Judge Judy, y'all. Basic Judge Judy. Even Judge Judy talked about it. If somebody's name appears on a joint account, they have every right to have full access to that account, meaning they can view that account. They could empty that account out. They could take every nickel in that account. It doesn't matter who put the most money in. Or if everybody was contributing money, you could, if your name is on the account and you're an authorized person you're authorized to make withdrawals off that account, then you could take money off that account. You can take all the money out of that account. There's not a court in the world that's going to tell you that you can't take money out of your account. It's your account too. So if that's the case, I can see everybody getting scared. You should be scared. But Yeah, it's just crazy. And was this from Danny Towns? Up until the last few years, Janelle was still invested in the dream of the whole family. She held out for a long time. Yeah, yeah. And that would have been devastating to the family. If they had cleaned out that bank account, that would have been devastating to the family. Said Karen Dillon. But is it true? She may have told Mary to leave and Cody threw that in. It's possible. Trying to get everybody against, and that's the thing too, because he does triangulation too. So he might be trying to get everybody against Jen and discourage Mary's relationship with Jen. That's also possible. If my money is in there, my name will be on it, or no more money for me. I'm with you. But you also got to make sure, and that goes back to what I was saying before. You also got to make sure that the people you're putting your name on an account, you want to make sure that those people are trustworthy, because it can affect your credit too. Like if they start bouncing checks off that account, that affects your credit. You know, so there's all kinds of negative repercussions of that. They put loans, or they put that account up as collateral. Could be devastating. All right. But let's go to Tanya Carter with that bonus track. She like remix like Puff Daddy. Not well, except for all the freaky stuff. All right, Tanya Carter. Next up we have Anonymous.
Hi, James. I'm so confused about some details surrounding the Coyote Pass. Do you think Janelle signed an NDA? And also, what did the producer specifically say to Mary the first NDA? Do you think there was a subsequent one? The level of ambiguity is alarming and it's quite frankly insulting. Thank you.
Well, here's the thing with the NDA. I think, because from my understanding, as soon as he presented the NDA, him and Robin presented Mary with the NDA, that's when she started pulling an attorney in. Like that, I guess that was the final straw when the Spidey sense started going crazy. And that very well may have been thanks to Jen telling her, like, girl, you better not sign no damn. Are you nuts? Cody's a good guy, girl. You sign that NDA, you might as well just go ahead and write him a check. You know what I mean? He is sticking your ass up. Because that's the only reason why you would have him sign an NDA. Because if you think about it, everything is public record. So if she was only on 1/3 of the property and he sold all the property, or he kept the one property that Mary's name still appeared on, so he could maintain a lot on Coyote Pass, right? Then she couldn't talk about it. They could walk away with all their money and she couldn't talk about it. Well, I didn't sell, where's my money? I didn't sell the lot with your name on it. So you're not entitled to any money. And that's what I've been saying from the start. That's what I've been saying from the start. Like all this, like this code stuff that they trying to use, like this is my wife and we're all husbands, we all one big family. That's all nice as nickname shit. Because when push comes down to shove and you look at the legal part of it, it's just a piece of paper. The marriage license, that's just a piece of paper. Divorce decree, that's just a piece of paper. Everything is a piece of paper up until the point that all of a sudden they want to start enforcing some shit. Then that piece of paper is everything. If Cody wanted to rip them off for the money on Coyote Pass, he's talking about edging Mary out and cutting Mary out of the money or the sales. That's how he would do it. He can't cut her out of the sales of the property that her name appears on. He can't cut her out of that, but he can cut her out of the other 3/4 of the properties. Because remember, Coyote Pass is 4 plots. Her name only appeared on 1/3 of one plot. So he could sell the other 3 plots, and there's nothing she could do about it. There's nothing she could do about it. Because you can't force a sale. If we bought property together, you can't make me sell the property because you tired of the property. That's too bad, so sad. You understand what I mean? That's I don't know. I don't know. This is where it gets kind of crazy. It gets crazy, because there's so many ways you can screw people over like this, especially if they're kind of half in, half out. They're playing a game. Oh, we doing this together. Yeah, we doing it together up until the time I want to screw you. Then all of a sudden, well, I mean, legally, I don't have to do anything. So, but next up, we have Daisy. Daisy Ray.
Hey James, I just wanted to speak to you about like them fake ass people, yo. Them people from Central Casting that be popping out of nowhere just to fucking push some narrative or get the tea from Janelle or Mary. Like them hoes aren't like Jen, like being involved with everyday shit. They just pop up out of nowhere and it's just like, oh, that's our friend. Them hoes ain't your friend. That shit just bothers me or whatever because I be having like real ass critiques about the fucking show and people try to shut me down talking about, well, it's just production. How about all y'all bitches is fucking fake?
Cast Central Cast. We need to have Janelle have a friend who's never been seen on camera at any other events. Central Casted. Well, I mean, in fairness, there might be people who don't want to be on the show, especially because it is loosely tied to spousal mistreatment and that kind of thing. You might not want to be featured on the show. So, but I hear you. Because some of these people be coming out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, it's like, this is my best friend. When? Since when? What? So yeah. But let me see. We'll go to Anne.
Hi, James. This is Ann. I was calling to give my quick take on Sister Wives. I'm gonna say, like, I agree with you. I appreciate David and Christine's conversations over the last two episodes. They're real adult conversations, and we're seeing how they handle conflict, how they handle when they don't agree on a particular topic. I appreciate that one-on-one conversation that we get to see because we don't see it with Cody and Robin. They've been giving us superficial, fake conversations over and over and over again of the same topic with no depth. And Mary, I did feel bad for her as well. It's a shame that it took Cody disrespecting her friends for her to kind of wake up, but I'm glad she's taking a stand now. I definitely hope that we don't see her dating. Just work on yourself, rebuild, do the remodel of your home, B&B. And I kind of do think she's a bisexual, but hey, it's not my business. I just, hope that she's happy and growing. And please get a makeover, Mary. I need her to get a head to toe makeover. But I really want to talk about Janelle because Janelle is full of ish. Okay. Yes, I agree with the caller that a few people that called into your live show saying that Janelle was the original Robin. I agree. And she is not a girl's girl.
Well, yeah. I don't think Janelle ever cast herself as the girl's girl, though. Like, in fairness, because like I said, I think she always tried to align herself with the logic of the men that she's like Cody's peer and she's closer to a man and she is to the wives, closer to the husband than she is to the wives. So, I mean, I think that's part of the mix. But yeah, let's listen to Ann part 2.
Hi, James. This is Ann. This is part 2, real quick. Me talking about Janelle and how I feel she's full of ish. And I definitely agree she is not a girl's girl. Because one, she never advocated for equal split of Coyote Pass. Her and Robin had the most land ownership. She never advocated for Christine or Mary at the time to get an equal split. When Cody and Robin was taking extra funds from the family fund, she never told Mary and Christine, even though she was supposed to be the bookkeeper. Her sons were in wrestling. Extracurricular activities are expensive. She was able to get funds for that, even though at a time when the family didn't have money like that, but that was okay because Cody was coming over to her house the most and spending time with his favorite sons. Maddie just happened to be born in between the right kids, which was Cody's favorite sons, and that's why she was able to get a little extra love more than the boys, because Savannah could have been born at that time, and it would have been her getting a little extra love, not because she actually liked the girls. It was just because she was born around the same time as his favorite sons. And two, when Janelle left Cody, the premise was around because of his relationship with her adult sons, not because he wasn't spending quality time with his minor daughter, Savannah. It was all about the boys, nothing about actually Savannah. Savannah was always the afterthought. And this is why I think Janelle is full of ish.
Well, as far as because you actually said something I've been saying like the whole time. Like, so on that, I give you a full on, you know, correct the mundo. 100%. I've been saying that Cody preferred the boys, especially the golden kids, Hunter, Logan, and then Maddie blends in there because she was older. She would have been around when Cody came around. I think also it was mentioned about like those wrestling mats, those nasty ass wrestling. Let me tell you something. If a school, those mats are expensive. Let me say that one more again. Those wrestling mats are expensive. All right. If a school is getting rid of wrestling mats and bringing in new mats, and they're going through the expense of doing that, then those mats are nasty. Okay. All the vinegar in the world ain't doing shit for them mats. Right. Those mats are nasty. There's all kinds of bacteria and stuff in them mats. Like, yeah, nasty. But I think the reason why he's cleaning it up is because he wants to try to get Saul into wrestling. I think that's all it is. Like, I think he's trying to, pull Saul in because he's trying to get that get another golden boy out of it. And wouldn't it be so lovely if he could make Robin, one of Robin's kids, a golden child as well, like a state champion. So I think that plays into part of it. With regard to like Janelle, though, I think again, like this is one of the dangerous parts, Janelle, Christine. If you guys are listening, this is one of the dangerous parts as you guys talk about rolling out these spinoff shows. This is the dangerous part because people are going to be paying closer attention to the stuff that you've done, why you did it, why you didn't do it, things you haven't done, things you said, things you haven't said, the people you talk to. They're going to be paying closer attention, and it's not enough just to say Cody Robin. Because right now you guys have the luxury of just being able to point to Cody and Robin, and everybody's so focused on them that they're not really paying attention to what you guys did or didn't do, or things you didn't say you should have said, things like that. So, I mean, I think the A is making good points. Let's go to number 3.
Hi, James. This is Ann again, giving my quick take and let me know what you think and the audience as well. This is in regards to Janelle. I believe that the reason why Janelle and Robin really seemed like they didn't really get along like that, they were just maintaining it because they were in the relationship with the same man. Robin didn't particularly care for Janelle's kids because Robin knew that Janelle's kids were Cody's favorite. In particular, the boys were Cody's favorite. Janelle got blindsided when he brought Robin into the family because Robin was the skinnier, newer version of her, a divorcee just like her. When Janelle came into the family, she was a little skinny. It was just hers was just extra tacky because she was married to Mary's brother, and that's just extra tacky and disrespectful. And I want to know, what was the side deal that Cody and Janelle made in regards to the funds put into that McMansion? Cody said they made a little arrangement. What was it? I'm curious. Did Janelle have to sign an NDA? I'm curious about that too. And everything that Janelle, for the most part, is saying on the show right now in the confessionals has been pretty much the little zingers that she's saying is things that the audience has already said. She's not really adding any texture to it. So she's not giving anything. I believe that she will go back to Cody. He's going to be making his way to North Carolina if Robin does leave him. She'll take him back because she didn't want to leave in the beginning.
And then she gonna keep a fire lit for him, keep the lights out, like a Motel 6. We'll keep the light on for you, right? I think that I think that there's a way that Cody could work it out with Janelle, but he would have to go through her kids in order to work it out for it to make sense. Because Maddie is so close to Janelle as it is right now, he has to work it out with Maddie. He has to rebuild that bridge back into Maddie's world. So yeah. To I guess almost in direct almost answering the question, we had a message from Megatron that I'll play with regard to whether Cody could ever come back. Cody Megatron addresses whether Cody would be welcome in certain counties in North Carolina. We'll leave it at that.
Hey James, my take family. This is your girl Megatron here. So I have a few points to make tonight. I'm gonna keep my blood pressure down. I'm not gonna get upset. Okay. So my first point, David setting boundaries and discussing budget with Christine. I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was great. As a married couple, that's not a one and done conversation. You know, I heard people saying, "Oh, they should have talked about that before they got married." That is a conversation that you have to continually talk about with your partner, simply because situation changes, things happen, life happens. So him talking about it, I thought that was good, healthy. Like he wasn't beating her down, but he was raising the alarm. Like, hey, sweetie, spending. We have to think about our futures. Like we're not young, like we have to figure this thing out. And I think he said in the conversation, we're gonna eventually have to live off one income, meaning sister wife's check is gonna be no more. That's a valid point. How many weeks have we sat up here and said, this show is done for, this show is done for? Hello, David, them watching us on my take. Hey, what's up, David? What's up, Christine? They know that this show is about to end. So he's preparing, which is good, guys. Like, I don't understand why David is catching backlash for this conversation. That is a great conversation to have.
I didn't realize he was catching backlash. I 100% agree with Megatron. Like this is the open lines of communication should always be present. One, two, because as she mentioned, things change, situations change. Hell, your bank account may change. Like, baby, let me tell you something. We got lawsuits coming. It turns out the drywall we've been putting up, all kinds of carcinogens in it, they hitting us. Our suppliers are jacked up. The tariffs is killing us. Whatever the case may be, our situation may be changing. So we have to have a conversation about it. Or just the fact that when you look at it, Christine married according to Tanya, he's a millionaire. So he's a wealthy man. Christine married a wealthy man, right? And it's almost the equivalent of if you're doing okay and you marry a professional athlete or a person who has like access to ridiculous amounts of money, you may think to yourself, oh, I'm on easy street. I can buy whatever I want because I don't have to worry about money. And he's saying we do have to worry about money. Let's talk about it. And there's nothing wrong with you having a conversation about it. Even if you had a conversation about it before, you want to continually update where you are in your conversation. This isn't a one and done thing. We're not going to spend money on nothing. Agreed. Like, because the situation is going to change. I say you should be able to have open conversations about every aspect of your relationship, not just money, your commitment, what your commitment is going to look like, what your relationship is going to look like. Are you guys going to be exclusive to one another, or are you going to open your marriage up? You will open your relationship up. That should always be on the forefront of not necessarily the conversation about opening your marriage up, but I'm saying like it should always be on where you are and the open line of communication. There's nothing wrong with you having that conversation about like, yo, babe, yeah, this is your first time as a millionaire. You think this money is just endless? It's not. It's not endless. Okay, this money can end. So I don't want to find that part because especially if you've been living wealthy for a lot of years, you're not trying to go back. I'm not trying to lose everything to get everything because, at the same time, I'm not trying to buy your love either. So if it requires me to continually give to you so that you can have, I'm not trying to do that either. So yeah, let's have the conversation so we can respect each other. And you're not you're not taking advantage of me wittingly or unwittingly. And two, I don't feel like you're taking advantage of me. So that's an important conversation to be had. I have no problem with them having that conversation. I think it's the most responsible thing they could do is have a conversation, especially if you noticing like every time you come home, there's boxes and boxes of Amazon and shit on your front step. And every time you turn around, somebody want to go on vacation or she want to pay for somebody to go to school or she want to pay for this or pay for that and talk about what she agreed with Cody. Like, well, according to Cody, we don't want the kids we want all our kids to go to college and we don't want them to have any debt when they come out of college. Well, I mean, that's a conversation we need to have, boo boo. Because especially if your kids, if millionaire ass David's kids are sitting there with student loans, there's no way in the world I'm gonna tell my kids they got to get student loans because I want them to earn their degree, and then I get married and I to somebody else, and I tell her that her kids I'm gonna pay full rides for her kids to go to school. That's we need to have a conversation because I might have to start gifting some money out. So I think it's completely responsible. I think that's the most responsible thing you can do. And again, that's part of your intimacy level for you to be able to talk about money openly. But right on Megatron, let's go to part 2.
Megatron again, y'all. Second point. Anybody else fist bump in the air when Mary said, and I quote, "This is not alleged, people. We heard it. We heard her say it. We watched her say it. This is the final peace out, bitches." Mary, that's the energy we want. Keep that energy. But what we needed you to do is bring that energy in their face. Let's not talk in the one-on-one and act scared. And then when we get in their face, it's everything's no. Keep that energy. Get in her face. Peace out, bitches. That's what we want. We want you to let Robin ass know, bitch, I know that you know that I know, and that the audience know you ain't never been shit. You never gave shit about me. And Mary, you were a stepping stone for that heifer to get your husband. And she got him. Let her keep him. Bon voyage. Okay. But we want you to keep that same energy, Mary. What are the hard conversations that you need to have with Robin? We also need to know that. Quit pussyfooting around. Tell us what's what. I want to talk to this bitch about ... That's what we want to hear from you, Mary. We know you're watching. Hey, how you doing, girl? Hi, Jen.
Megatron, your mess. But she right though. She right. Because I mean, when it come down to it, like I respect the fact that you might need a safe place to have certain conversations, especially if you've been mistreated for so long. I say mistreated, but I mean the A word. If you've been mistreated for so long, you may need a safe space where you feel like you can express yourself openly and freely. However, that's not how they're coming across. They don't look like they require a safe space because you're saying things almost challenging them publicly. And so the whole question is, if you're able to do that, can you sit on a couch and hold their feet to the fire? Are you at that level yet? Are you in that position? And if you are, that's what if you're trying to save the show, look, I understand and this is where it gets kind of sticky because there's good mental health practice and then there's reality TV. And those two planes shall never meet. They can run parallel to each other, but they shall never cross paths. That is the reality of it. Is that mental health wise, it probably would make sense for Mary, Christine, and Janelle to never have like private conversations with either Cody or Robin because nothing good is going to come of it. Well, they got kids together. Well, I mean, they could talk about the kids. They could show up to the thing. They could be cordial with each other. They have adult children. They don't have to co-parent. You got adult kids. So you can figure it out, right? You don't have to go visit them and go sit on their porch and shit and sip, lemonade and mint juleps in order for you to feel like you're doing something. That's unnecessary. Right. So for the mental health aspect of it, because you've been mistreated for so many years, that might be a way to go. But in reality TV parlance, a forum where it's all about the conflict, you guys have to be in a position where you can start talking to them straight up. Like these little like one-on-one tell-alls, like I'm gonna tell you what Cody said, and I tell Janelle that Cody said this, and then Christine responded with that, and you have Suki trying to relay. I wanted to go right from the horse's mouth and get the true response of what they think at the moment, in the moment, right there. If you tell a lie on somebody, I want them to be able to stop you in your tracks and be like, "You're full of shit. You need to come correct and start telling the truth," because that's not how it went down. Stop giving them, because all you're doing is giving them room to lie. You're giving them room and license to lie to us, because that's all Cody and them is doing. They just go off to their little secret sauce. Oh, that's not what happened. They're liars, and it happened this way. Same thing with Robin. I created the the secret passwords or whatever. The beautiful assistant. I created that. Even though we watched Christine create it back in like season 2, talking about that shit. I'm the beautiful assistant. What? You know what I mean? But we have to tolerate those kind of lies because they're not willing to sit on the stage with each other. But Megatron had a third message.
Hey, this is Megatron again, guys. One more point, I promise. What's up with this damn dude talking about I haven't been compensated yet? What you mean, Cody? You ain't been compensated yet, bro. You made off like a bandit with basically these women's life worked, their savings, everything. And you still want more? What the actual FUCK is happening up in here? Because what exactly do you need to be compensated for, my bro? What is it? What more do you want? At this point, you basically robbed them of Coyote Pass. You took money and paid for the McMansion and didn't pay nobody back. You've been stealing from these people for years and years and years, and then you got the gall to fix your Nestle Crunch mouth to say you haven't been compensated yet. The nerve, the nerve, the nerve. And y'all talking about him moving to the 252 with Janelle at the end of the day, let me explain something to y'all. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because Bubba and Chuck and JP and Junebug and them, nah, Cody's attitude, he won't survive in Pitt County. I can guarantee you that right now. He's not going to.
First of all, Nestle Crunch Mouth. Damn. Nestle Crunch Mouth. Holy shit. Nestle Crunch Mouth. Second off, like I said, Megatron know about Pitt County where they live down in North Carolina, and she said the shit ain't gonna fly. So he might be persona non grata down in Pitt County. So watch your back, cause if you're going down there, you know, and them Southern boys, them cats be strong as shit. They be like bench pressing cows. Them things be strong as hell. Them farm boys, shit. Yeah, they strong as construction workers down there. Forget bodybuilders. Them dudes be picking up all kinds of shit. You don't want to be down there messing with them. But next up, we got Megatron 4. This is the last one. I know she said 3, but Megatron got a bonus.
I know I said that was my last one, y'all, but I'm sorry. I forgot one more point. What's up with... Okay, we can agree that we all know Robin's a lying-ass piece of stuff. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Robin, go back and watch your own show, Sweet Pea. Christine is the one that came up with the term beautiful assistant. Baby, that was season 2, season 3. You late to the party. You tarted to this party. I came up with that term, beautiful assistant. Girl, shut up. You're lying. Next. They need to play the clip back of Christine saying it and then get her reaction at the tell-all. Because you're lying. Start catching this woman up in her lies. Show her her lies. Show Cody his. Okay. All right. I'm calming down. I'm getting a little irate. But anyway, and then also, how about Robin talking about some more? Cody, I'll kiss you more if you shave your beard. Did y'all see how quick that fool ran in there and shaved it? She hadn't even finished talking and he was already shaving. What kind of angel dust does Robin have? Because I need to buy some of that. Now, you gonna, instead of selling that fake ass funky jewelry of yours, sell some of this angel dust you got Cody on. Because baby, I'm single and I'm trying to mingle. Send me what you got so I can get me a man that I can just lead around on the leash and do all my... Girl, please.
She said, give me some of that dust. Oh, but here's the thing. I think that the show is so preoccupied. TLC isn't a fair arbiter of the truth. They're not trying to get the word out. They're not going to try to correct them. They're not going for even the basic TV moments. They're just trying to keep the show afloat because they're trying to keep it on the air. I think that's all it comes down to with them. Like they're just trying to keep the show going as far as how much money can we make from this, the prospect of this show, by keeping it on the air. That's it. They don't give a shit about the truth. They don't care about whether it makes sense or not, because they're filming it. And you can't tell me, like, there, as well as we may know the shows, they know these shows. Their producers understand what the shows are. They understand the plot points. They have access to footage that we've never seen before. So they could even go further with the context of who said what, did what, or whatever, if they were so inclined. And the crazy part is, because they already paid them for those shows, and they already paid them, they could air a lot of that stuff. No fuss, no muss, no problem. Blend it right into the episodes they already shot. Like, they could roll old footage into new episodes, and they wouldn't have to pay them. So they're not. It's not because they don't want to or they can't. It's just that they don't want to. They don't have any, drivers to try to make Cody and Robin look bad. For fear they probably would quit. But thank you so much, Megatron, for that. Next up, we have Mary.
Hey, James, it's Mary. Hey, I just wanted to bring something up. What if Cody never had any intention of selling Coyote Pass, and this was all just a ruse for him to obtain Mary's 25%, because then him and Robin would own 75%, and then he could give Robin what she really wanted, was to make Janelle take a low amount of money from him, and he keep Coyote Pass and look like the victor to his wife, because that's how he's going to keep her, by keeping her kids right there too. So I'm thinking this was really the game, and this is really why he was playing both of them, Janelle and Mary, but he wanted to steal Mary's share. She can't talk about it. Janelle going to take a really low amount of money just to get the deal done, and Cody keeps all of the property for him and Robin. Well, let me know what you think, James. Thanks. Bye.
Shit, the sound is off. Damn it. Sorry. In fairness, I was just saying that I think that, in line with what Mary was saying, I think that there's a point where you look at it and it would make sense that he might try to push Janelle out, push Mary out, then push Janelle out, and give them maybe like a low ball stipend or whatever, just to shut him up and get him off his back, right? Especially if he can get him to sign an NDA. And this is in line with something that I've been saying the whole time. I've always felt like he was trying to stall them out and frustrate them out, much like he was able to do with Christine, where she just gave Cody the land for $10. I'm sure she might even paid the $10 to sell him the land for $10. She probably paid all of the fees and everything associated with taking her name off. And I think that he was basically trying to do the same thing with the other wives, because he got a taste for it. And as far as his desire to have everything be under his name, that's because he's greedy. And he's trying to, everything that they collected as part of the family, he thinks belongs to him. So therefore, the Coyote Pass that was acquired when they typically were all family members, it was his idea. Robin and her kids love Coyote Pass. That's actually who presented Coyote Pass to the family as a viable option to move from Vegas, was Robin and her kids. So yeah, do I think that he thought that Coyote Pass was rightfully his? Absolutely. And he's trying to figure out a way that he could get Cowdy Pass. And the only reason why I think that Janelle or if Robin did have a conversation with him to prevent him from doing anything nefarious as far as the ownership of Cowdy Pass is just because she couldn't figure out a way that she wouldn't look bad and it wouldn't be horrible. And the way they tried to get around it, because I had the impression it wasn't just Cody who had presented the question of the NDA, but it was Cody and Robin who presented the question of the NBA to NDA, not NBA, the NDA non-disclosure agreement to Mary. And that's why Mary is so upset with Robin and felt so betrayed by Robin, because I think Robin was a part of that conversation. So I think they've always been trying to get the land. And again, I'm breaking it up into five sections. Who has 5 kids? Robin. Why would he have to break up? I'm gonna break up this section so I have an extra house. My dude, you weren't talking about at the time he was talking about putting getting a little house on Cowdy Pass for himself. They were still talking about keeping a McMansion. You have a whole damn house down the street. Why would you need another piece of property to yourself? You got a whole ass house, a big ass house down the street. I think that what they were trying to do was, I think they were trying to get that property. They were trying to give Cloudy Pass to Robin's kids. That also plays into the idea, because remember they were saying the whole time, we want the kids to move here so they could be close to us and we could all be together, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it have been interesting if Robin could have put houses on Cloudy Pass for each one of her kids? That way she would have been able to keep them close. She was living down the street at the McMansion. And in fact, she could ride down on the little dune buggies or the dirt bikes or the ATVs down to see her kids, right? Because they're right down the street. So yeah, I think it was always a plan for her to be able to acquire that land to be able to give to her kids. That's why they bought a house that was literally like they were going to build. Like, who the hell buys a house and it talks about building a house, a luxury home, less than a mile away from the house that you're still paying on? Nobody. They didn't have that kind of money. And people who do have that kind of money don't do that kind of shit. So, but next up, we got Janet.
Hi, James. It's Janet. I was just thinking about ways that the show could actually, I don't know, like they could make it worth it that this season has been so boring and stupid, and showing Robin excited about Cody shaving his mustache. He kept saying beard, but his mustache is there. And I'm like, if it scratches you, wouldn't the beard still scratch you? Anyway, doesn't matter. And do you think that they're ever going to have a tell-all where they're in the same room again? Because there's just so many things that need to be addressed, and Cody won't take responsibility for it, neither will Robin, but like at least it would be something to have them all in a room together, and maybe some stuff would get brought up, or they could at least, if someone lies or someone misrepresents something, that the other person who involved there would be there to like at least question them about it. My God, this season is boring. I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. But if they would all be in a room, if they want to keep a season 21 idea alive, I think they need to do something where people actually say what they actually think to each other. I'm excited to hear the live today. I don't have much to say just because I didn't.
Just gonna go right into part 2.
Hi James, it's just me, Janet again. Yeah, I didn't see the show or see Forces, which I'm excited to watch soon because I think that'll actually be more interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do to actually get through season 21 if season 20 is like that. And the more I watch Cody and Robin and realize that while his kids were, you know, not able to get surgeries, or like there was financial concerns for that, or eating like food that, you know, wasn't good food, that they're buying stuff like cars and jewelry and I don't know. it's just very like it. I've said this before, but it's almost like it's a fairy tale. It feels like you have a new wife and you threw your kids to the side, and her kids are the only ones that exist. And I don't know. I'm not sure what fairy tale it is, but they're horrible.
All right. That was Janet. Yeah, I think that for the most part, this season has kind of been a flopper. Just because it's not like we the problem that they're gonna have, and I'm just gonna say this right out. The problem that they're gonna have is the same problem. I used to watch there was a show with Queen Latifah called The Equalizer, right? Where you basically had it's a reimagining of an old show. Like Denzel Washington actually played the same character, which was a remake of an old TV show that was played by a British dude, right? Where he used his special forces skills to bring justice to like normal people who didn't have anywhere else to turn, basically like a one man A team, popular little genre. And I knew that Equalizer jumped the shark the moment, because she used to do like Queen Latifah's character as a TV show. She used to do like street crimes and somebody turn up missing or somebody getting bullied or whatever the case, and she would do those type of things. The second they said that she's like some secret covert mega agent, and she started doing international stuff that like, oh my goodness, this could be the end of civilization as we know it, and we need to equalize it, us, stifle this plan. And the second they started doing that, I said she can't never go back to street crimes no more. She's too big. She's too big for street crimes at this point, because she's elevated herself to being a global protector, right? Like same. What does that have to do with Sister Wives, James? I'm gonna tell you. What that has to do with Sister Wives is we watch the boring parts, the day-to-day parts of them conducting their relationships as polygamists, right? Then we watched the relationships fall apart. We watched the divorces. That was the highlight. That was what some of the highest rated Sister Wife episodes, hands down. Now we watch them leave. We watch the big arguments. We watch them separate. We can't go back to watching them shop for draperies and shit. We can't go back to watching them paint rooms, right? We need to have like the hunger is there for more content, more excitement. You have to go bigger. You can't go smaller. And that's where Sister Wives is now. That's where they kind of screwed the pooch in a way, weird way, because they've gotten a taste for the audience to have these big confrontations, these big conversations, these big like about time they figured this shit out. Now you have to continue that. So the only way this is really going to work, in my opinion, is they have to have more confrontations between Rob and Cody and OG3. You can't have the peaceful kumbaya moments. We all need to get together to hold hands and sing songs and shit, because that's not going to work. What is that show about? And I think that's where they're struggling. That's why it's so boring to us, you know? And I challenge anybody who says, well, I mean, this season was pretty interesting. If this season was so interesting, Megatron said they'll never top season 17 and 18, 100%. If this season is so interesting, give me the episode that is the most interesting episode of this season that changed your mind about anything or informed you about something. Tell me the name of the episode or the number of the episode and let me know. And I would struggle to say, it's basically this whole episode, this whole season, nothing's really stuck out to me. And because that's the case, like I could say, like in season, I could talk about like the catfish stuff we always talk about: catfish, Isabella's surgery, the adoption, the divorce, the marriage of Robin, Robin coming into the family, the dress episode, the melting of the ring down. I mean, even that comment during season 17. Like, these are things that we could all talk about. Christine packing up Cody's shit, putting it in boxes at 16. Moving from Utah to Vegas, season 2, episode 2. Like, these are things we could all talk about. What landmark thing happened in season 18? What landmark thing happened? Janelle cussed out Cody. Season 19. Anyone? Season 20? Anyone? Like, you know what I mean? It's like that. That's why I say this show is in trouble. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be, like, oh, I'm just giving up on the show. I'm just saying that the show's in trouble because they don't really have a clear direction or a place that they can go. It's going to break them out of the boring part. Yeah, I think Linda hit the nail on the head. But that's where we are. I have to check Big G season 19. But you know what? That wasn't like Big G, I think, was bad. That was actually technically like season 18 because that was a tail end of 18. And then they talked about it in season 19. But it really happened like off between the seasons. Like, Big G was such a phenomenon unto himself that I don't think he can really be blended into the sister wife like episodes or whatever. Because even the handling of it was okay. They did a better job than I thought they were going to do, but there was nothing really memorable about the actual episodes dealing with his burial. Like, I thought it was kind of cool that Janelle went to the cat shelter. I thought that was cool. But like Cody digging a ditch and all that, like, it was just kind of, But let me check some of these super chats and I'll let you guys go because guess what? We've gotten through all of the speak pipes. Jody Periscalo, $4.99 super chat. Sorry I stepped out. Did y'all hear? Notes to self, Melanie's mom has been suing her dad for her house and property. Good for you. Her mom is actually pretty nice. I had an opportunity to meet her when we did our collaboration. Yeah, good for her. I hope she's successful. I mean, because at the end of the day, the jacked up part about it is that these people will commit, like the wives commit so much to the husbands in these families, and for them to be asked to walk away from said families, commitments, life and lifestyle with nothing is insane to me. Insane. Like, there's nothing fair or equitable about that. And this is part of the reason why, like I said, there's such a for me, there's a strong reason as to why this practice is illegal, because they don't have protections, and you are relying on somebody and how they feel about you in order for you to, how do you feel about me? Oh, if I like you, I'll take care of you. If I don't, then screw you. You're on your own. You got to figure it out. Even though you've contributed money, you've helped the family to build whatever success we've had, doesn't mean anything because I don't like you now. So you get to walk away with nothing. Like, that's bullshit. She had kids with him. Like, come on now. So, and I'm sure if he sees it, he's probably not going to be happy with me. But, bro, that's just how I feel about the situation. But good for her. Oh, I wish the best for Melody's mom. I say she's a nice lady. She's a really nice lady. So I hope I hope things turn out good for her. But thank you, Jody Paris Scholar, for that. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's awesome that she's I'm happy fucking fight back. Get what's yours. You know what I mean? Go for yours. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. Let me give a huge shout out to everybody in the chat, as well as our mega mods. We got Lizzie B in the house, Carmel Cuties, Brittany Not Brittany. Lizzie B and them be hold me down. So let's get some hearts in the chat for the mega mods, because they do an outstanding job. Run some hearts for them. Let me give a huge shout out to Ready to Retire, Linda, Lacey, Sunny Bunny, Tanya, Anonymous, Daisy, Ann, Megatron, Mary, and Janet for calling in, leaving some speak pipe messages so they give us something to talk about, keeping it real, entertaining, and informative. Let me give them a little something, something. All right. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check us out because we will be back. For those who are members of the My Take community, we'll be having a roundtable this Saturday at noon. It's usually awesome. Just so you're forewarned, we have a bang up time. To make sure you tune in noon Eastern Standard Time. You'll be getting a notice if you're a member. Also, we'll be here back again for the after party to get that first initial reaction, my initial reactions. Then on Tuesday, we're going to do the call-in show. Then, of course, next Thursday, we're going to have the speak pipe. I got to get some videos out. I'm going to let you guys know. We're going in deep, y'all. We're going in deep. So it's going to be different. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Shout out to the Mega Mods. Appreciate y'all. You guys have a great night. I'm James. That's my take. And this has been my take on reality. And I'm out.